Have you ever wondered if they're words so powerful that when spoken, they can unlock the impossible? Words that don't just touch the air, but touch heaven itself. Today, I want to share with you a truth that carries the keys to your breakthrough. Say this 3 times. I believe, I receive, I achieve. When you declare, I believe, you connect yourself with faith. Faith is not a weak whisper. It is a bold shout to the universe that you trust God's plan even when the path is hidden. Faith is the seed, and with it, you tell every closed door, you will not stop me. When you affirm, I receive, you open your heart to abundance. Too many people believe, but never receive. They wait, they doubt, they hesitate. But the moment you say, I receive, you position yourself for blessings. You tell life, what belongs to me will not pass me by. And when you declare, I achieve, you step into action. Faith without works is empty. Receiving without moving is useless. But when you act, doors open, walls fall, and dreams manifest. So today, stand tall and speak it with me. I believe, I receive, I achieve. Say it once, say it twice, say it 3 times till it becomes your reality. Because when you align your words with faith, hope, and action, no door can remain closed against you. Remember, God has not designed you for limitation, but for limitless victory. Have you ever noticed how powerful words are? A single word can lift a heart, heal a wound, or ignite hope in someone who feels defeated. Today, I want you to embrace 3 words that can shift your entire destiny. 3 words that carry the power to open doors no man can shut. I believe, I receive, I achieve. When you declare, I believe, you are building the foundation of faith. Belief is the engine of every miracle. It is the voice inside that says, even if I don't see it now, I trust that it is coming. To believe means you choose hope over fear, courage over doubt, vision over blindness. Every great dream, every life-changing invention, every breakthrough begins with someone who dared to believe. Faith is not a passive thought, it is a living fire. It pushes you forward when circumstances push you back. Then you say, I receive. This is the step that many skip. They believe in possibilities, but they never receive them personally. Receiving means opening your heart and hands, saying, yes, this blessing is mine. Yes, this opportunity belongs to me. Yes, God's promise has my name on it. Too often we push away what heaven is trying to send because we feel unworthy or afraid. But when you declare, I receive, you break the chains of doubt and give yourself permission to walk into abundance. Finally, you say, I achieve. Belief without action remains a dream, and receiving without movement leads nowhere. Achieving is where faith turns into results. When you act, when you step forward, when you try again, even after failing, you shift the atmosphere around you. Mountains move, doors open, and what seemed impossible becomes reality. Achieving is the fruit of believing and receiving. So let these 3 words echo in your spirit. Speak them until they are engraved in your mind and heart. Speak them when you wake up, when you feel weak, when you face a challenge. I believe, I receive, I achieve. A faith is the beginning of everything. It is the spark that ignites possibility, the invisible power that gives birth to dreams. Faith is like a seed planted deep into the soil of your life. At first, you cannot see it. Others may even doubt it exists. But beneath the surface, something is happening. Roots are forming, strength is being gathered, and in time, that tiny seed will push through the ground toward the light. Faith is the seed that says, I believe even when I cannot see. Without faith, nothing begins. It is faith that whispers to you in the quiet moments, don't give up. Don't give up. Your time is coming. But a seed left alone in the ground must be nurtured. And this is where receiving comes in. Receiving opens the heart. Too many people plant seeds of faith, but never open themselves to the harvest. They believe God can bless others, but struggle to believe He can bless them. They believe miracles are possible, but hesitate to receive one personally. To receive is not arrogance, it is humility in action. It is saying, I trust that what God has promised, He is willing to give to me. Receiving requires the courage to open your heart wide, to let love, abundance, and opportunities flow in without resistance. It means letting go of unworthiness and stepping into the truth that you are chosen, you are seen, you are worthy of the good that is coming your way. Yet even faith and receiving are incomplete without the final step, action. Action brings results. Action is where dreams take form, where seeds sprout into trees, where vision becomes reality. You can believe for a better future. You can receive the promise of it in your heart. But until you take steps, it remains a thought, not a manifestation. Action is waking up early to build what others say is impossible. Action is speaking words of courage when fear wants to silence you. Action is choosing discipline over comfort, persistence over quitting, and faith-filled movement over hesitation. When you act, the universe responds. When you act, doors that seemed locked begin to open. When you act, the energy of your belief and the power of your receiving collide with opportunity, and something shifts. Faith plants the seed, receiving opens the heart, action brings results. Faith looks upward, receiving looks inward, action looks forward. Together they create an unstoppable cycle of growth, transformation, and victory. Faith says, it can happen. Receiving says, it belongs to me. Action says, I will walk it out. Repetition is one of the most underestimated powers in life. Many people think success is about one big moment, one single decision, or one sudden breakthrough. But in reality, the greatest victories are built through consistency, through showing up again and again, through repeating the same truth until it becomes part of who you are. Repetition is not just about doing something many times. It is about carving strength into your spirit, building conviction into your soul, and preparing the ground for your breakthrough. Think about how habits are formed. Nobody wakes up one day with instant discipline. Habits grow through repetition. Each time you act in faith, each time you declare the right words, each time you choose courage instead of fear, you are reinforcing your inner foundation. What starts as a whisper becomes a declaration, and what begins as a simple act becomes a lifestyle. That is the power of repetition. It transforms effort into identity. Repetition builds conviction. Conviction is not mere opinion. It is not a passing thought or a temporary mood. Conviction is the fire in your bones that cannot be shaken no matter what storms you face. Conviction is born when you repeat a truth until it no longer feels foreign, but becomes your natural language. At first, when you say, "I am strong," you may not feel strong. When you say, "I will overcome," you may still see obstacles everywhere. But when you repeat those words over and over, day after day, they begin to sink deeper. Your mind starts to believe, your heart starts to align, and your spirit rises to match your confession. This is why athletes train daily, why musicians practice the same notes thousands of times, why leaders rehearse their vision until it flows effortlessly. Repetition engraves truth onto the soul. It turns weak belief into unshakable confidence. What you repeat, you eventually become. What you repeat, you eventually manifest. And repetition not only builds conviction, it invites breakthrough. Breakthrough rarely happens in one instant. It comes after countless steps, countless prayers, countless declarations, countless small acts of obedience. The walls of Jericho did not fall after the first march. They fell after repeated obedience, after walking around them again and again in faith. Breakthrough comes when repetition reaches its tipping point, when the invisible becomes visible, when persistence wears down resistance. There is a rhythm to breakthrough. Every time you repeat the right words, every time you repeat the right action, you are knocking on a door. At first, the door seems unmoved, but with every knock, the pressure builds. With every repetition, you are weakening the barriers. And then suddenly, what looked impossible gives way, not because of one mighty push, but because of repeated persistence. Repetition is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. It is the daily act of sowing, the steady watering of the seed, the patient waiting for growth. It is the determination to keep going when nothing seems to change, to keep speaking life when all you see is darkness, to keep moving forward even when progress feels invisible. Each repetition is a declaration to heaven and earth that you will not stop until the breakthrough arrives. This is why meditation, prayer, affirmations, and disciplined practice are so powerful. They are not empty rituals. They are repetitions that build faith, deepen conviction, and invite divine intervention. Every word spoken, every step taken, every action repeated is an invitation to breakthrough. And the more you repeat, the more your life aligns with everything you are believing for. Every person has faced closed doors. A job opportunity that slipped away. A relationship that ended before it ever began. A dream that seemed within reach but suddenly felt blocked by circumstances. Closed doors are a part of life. They are frustrating, they are painful, and at times they can feel final. But here is the truth. Closed doors cannot resist a spirit aligned with God. When your heart, your mind, and your actions are in harmony with His purpose, no barrier can stand against you forever. Alignment with God begins with surrender. It is the decision to let His will guide you more than your own desires. Many doors remain locked because people try to force them open with their own strength. They push, they pull, they fight, but the door does not move. Yet when you align with God, you stop striving and start trusting. You stop leaning on your own limited understanding and start walking in divine wisdom. Alignment is not about passivity, It is about positioning. It is choosing to place yourself exactly where God's power flows, so that when the moment comes, the door cannot help but open. A spirit aligned with God is a spirit of faith. Faith looks at a closed door and says, "This is not the end." If it does not open, it means something greater is waiting. Faith refuses to let rejection turn into defeat. Faith is the inner confidence that God controls the keys of every door. And when the time is right, nothing in heaven or on earth can keep it closed. This kind of faith is not shaken by delay. It is not weakened by silence. It is strengthened in the waiting, because waiting with God is never wasted time. A spirit aligned with God is also a spirit of peace. Many people panic when they see a door shut in front of them. Anxiety rises, fear whispers, and hopelessness takes root. But when you are aligned with God, peace surrounds you. You know that every closed door has a purpose, and sometimes the rejection you face is actually protection in disguise. God does not close doors to punish. He closes them to redirect, to preserve, and to prepare. What feels like loss today may be the very thing that saves you tomorrow. A spirit aligned with God is a spirit of persistence. Closed doors may resist for a season, but persistence in faith will outlast resistance. Think of the widow in the parable who kept knocking until the judge answered. Her persistence moved what seemed immovable. When your spirit is aligned with God, you keep praying, you keep believing, you keep knocking. Not because you are desperate, but because you know that the one who hears you is faithful. Persistence is not stubbornness. It is confidence that breakthrough belongs to those who refuse to give up. A spirit aligned with God is a spirit of obedience. Sometimes the key to a closed door is not force, but obedience to a small instruction. Naaman the leper almost missed his healing because he resisted God's simple command. But the moment he obeyed, the closed door of sickness opened into healing. Obedience positions you for open doors. It might not make sense to you. It might not fit your logic. But when you obey, you align yourself with a power greater than you. And when alignment meets obedience, closed doors lose their strength. A spirit aligned with God is a spirit of boldness. Closed doors often intimidate people into giving up before they even try. But boldness says, if God is for me, who can be against me? Boldness does not knock timidly. It knocks with authority. It pushes with confidence. It speaks with assurance. Boldness is not arrogance. It is the certainty that the Spirit of God within you is greater than any obstacle before you. Every story of breakthrough in history carries this same truth. The alignment of human spirit with divine will create unstoppable momentum. Walls crumble, chains break, and closed doors swing open. The apostles were imprisoned, yet prison doors could not hold them because their mission was aligned with God. Joseph was betrayed and thrown into a pit, yet every closed door of betrayal eventually led him to the throne of Egypt because his spirit remained aligned with God's purpose. Closed doors cannot resist alignment because alignment attracts divine timing, divine favor, and divine intervention. What no human effort can move, God can shift in a moment. What seemed sealed forever can open suddenly when your spirit is in tune with His Spirit. Alignment changes everything. It turns rejection into redirection, delay into preparation, resistance into testimony. From the very beginning of creation, you were designed with greatness in mind. You were not placed on this earth as an accident, nor were you created to simply exist, struggle, and fade away. You were created for limitless possibilities, not limitations. Deep within you is the breath of God, the spark of divine power that makes you capable of more than you can imagine. The problem is not whether you were created with potential. The problem is whether you believe it, receive it, and walk in it. Limitations are loud. They show up in the form of doubts, fears, failures, and voices around you that say, you can't do this, or you're not enough. But those limitations are not the truth of who you are. They are shadows, illusions, walls that only seem solid until you dare to step forward. Every limitation you face is temporary. Every ceiling can be broken. Every boundary can be expanded. You were never designed to be caged by fear, chained by your past, or trapped by what others think of you. You were created with the ability to rise above, to transform obstacles into opportunities, and to turn setbacks into stepping stones. Look at nature for proof. A seed planted in the ground is small, insignificant, almost invisible. Yet within that tiny seed is the potential for a mighty tree, for fruit, for forests yet to come. If a seed carries limitless possibility within its shell, how much more do you carry within you, being created in the image of God? Limitations may tell you that you are small, but the truth is that within you lies strength, wisdom, and creativity that can shape your future. Possibilities begin with perspective. If you believe you are bound by limitations, you will live small. If you believe you are created for more, you will begin to walk with courage and expectation. Possibility is unlocked when your mind shifts from I can't to with God, I can. The way you see yourself will determine the doors you open. As long as you see yourself as limited, you will settle for less. But when you see yourself as limitless in God's hands, you begin to expect miracles, to dream bigger, and to step into places you once thought were unreachable. Possibilities are birthed through faith. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. Faith does not ignore reality. It simply declares that reality can change. Faith sees beyond the wall, beyond the mountain, beyond the closed door. Faith is the confidence that what seems impossible today can become possible tomorrow. When you live by faith, limitations lose their grip. Faith breaks chains, lifts burdens, and gives you the strength to move when everything around you says, stand still. Possibilities are nurtured through resilience. Life will test you. You will face setbacks, disappointments, and delays. But resilience is the proof that limitations cannot hold you. Every time you rise after falling, you prove that your possibilities are greater than your pain. Every time you refuse to quit, you expand your capacity. Resilience turns trials into testimonies and storms into strength. The most powerful people are not those who never faced limits, but those who refuse to let limits define them. Possibilities are realized through action. Dreams without action remain dreams. Potential without movement remains buried. You can believe in limitless possibilities. You can speak them. You can pray for them, but until you take action, they remain locked inside of you. Action is the key that opens the door to the future you desire. Every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your destiny. Possibilities respond to action the way seeds respond to water. They grow, they multiply, they flourish. You were created with gifts the world has never seen before. No one else has your exact voice, your exact vision, your exact purpose. The enemy of your soul wants you to shrink, to doubt, to believe you are powerless. But the truth is, you carry power beyond measure. The Spirit of God within you cannot be confined by human limitations. When you align yourself with that Spirit, you tap into a source greater than talent, greater than education, greater than resources. You tap into the unlimited nature of God Himself, and through Him, nothing is impossible. You are created for limitless possibilities, not limitations. Every time you believe, every time you rise, every time you act, you prove that truth. Every day you live with courage, every word of faith you speak, every vision you pursue, you break through another wall.